Now for the WoezorTV report, let's take a look at the headlines. Let's begin. The Ghana Revenue Authority is stepping up public education on tax compliance to strengthen domestic revenue mobilization. Deputy Commissioner in charge of Communication and Public Affairs Department, Florence Asante, urged members of the Muslim business community to see tax payment as both a civic duty and a moral responsibility. She made the remarks as a tax education program organized by the GRA at the office of the National Chief Imam at the National Mosque.
Teaches us that we should comply with tax laws or the laws of a country and to be able to abide by them to be good citizens. So I entreat all of us to have that information at the back of our minds, even as we listen to this presentation. And then to remind ourselves that we have a collective responsibility when it comes to payment of taxes, because we all live in this country. Even if we don't live here permanently, we enjoy the benefits that come with being Ghanaian or being in this country. The schools, the hospitals, all the other social amenities that come with being in this country, no matter how good or bad they are, that's what we have. And we should all know that these things are being financed with what we pay as taxes. Over the past few years, I'm sure we all have the information about the relationship we have with the IMF and the fact that we want to wean ourselves away from the IMF. How do we do that? We need to be able to finance the development of this country through our own taxes. It has to be generated domestically. And that happens when we all put our collective efforts together. We pay the little that we have to pay. And let me say the big monies that some of us also have to pay, but we are refusing to pay.
And now the Managing Director of All Sales Services Limited, Ahmed Adadeboache, who chaired the engagement, said the program gave participants practical insight into tax incentives and investment opportunities.
It has been very, very educative, very interactive. It has opened our minds to a number of things. For instance, that bit about tax holidays for certain areas in the country for investment. I see such a thing to be something that can help develop the country. So, for instance, they told us that there are certain parts of the northern region that if you set up an industry, you don't pay tax. So what business people have to look at is to look at some of the raw materials produced in those areas and then look at how those could be processed and either for local market or for the export. And when that happens, employment goes to that area, and then rural-urban migration and all those other things that comes with lack of work and employment in rural areas reduces. So we've been educated on income tax, we've been educated on VAT, we've been educated on port duties, and we've also said what we think about some of the duties and the taxes at the port. So the interaction has been two-way. I believe everybody who participated, all the business, Muslim business people participated, they are going away with something that they will implement in their own businesses and make changes. And this is not the only time where there have been exchange of phone numbers with the GRA authorities. So in case anything come up, I believe they will be very receptive to be able to listen to us.
Moving on, the Ghana Chamber of Mines has warned that growing calls for the government to reject the renewal of Goldfields Tarkwa Mines lease could weaken investor confidence and threaten Ghana's reputation as a stable destination for long-term mining investment. Addressing the media on Thursday, May 14, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Kenneth Ashigbe, stated that the policy certainty remains critical for attracting both local and foreign investors, especially in an industry that requires huge capital investment before production begins. Mr. Ashigbe explained that investors could be reluctant to commit resources to Ghana if they are uncertain about the security of their leases or fear sudden changes to agreements after making significant investments, warning that such uncertainty could discourage transformational investment needed to grow the country's mining sector. And away from that, the Harvard Health Systems Innovation Lab Hackathon 2026 Ghana edition recently concluded, marking Ghana's first participation as a hub in the global initiative organized in partnership with the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health and the Ghana Health Service. Held from April 10 to 11, 2026, the event aimed to provide innovation and transformation in Ghana's health system through technologically driven solutions. On May 14, 2026, Nova HQ emerged as champions, taking home a cash prize of 5,000 Ghana cedis. Speaking after the event, Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Professor Samuel Kaba Akoria, noted that the innovative ideas presented by the participants would strengthen the government's free primary healthcare agenda by helping bridge critical technological gaps.
That participated, they are all health inclined, and that makes us very happy that they are coming out with certain innovations that there will be that sense of ownership and that sense of sustaining them because it's homegrown solution. Most of the time we learn things from other people, we don't do them, so it becomes hard to maintain them, it becomes hard to sustain them, and it becomes more expensive. But in this case, it's the youth, Ghanaians, our own children, who are coming out believing that I have worked so hard to find this solution, so it will work. And if it works, one, they will be very happy, pride, they will be proud that they invented that. Two, they will be happy to expand it, to make it even better. Three, they will not want to lose it because nobody wants to invent something and lose it. So I'm very happy that when you look at it from sustainability point and a maintenance point, it's something very very important. And again, it also tells us how, as a country, we can develop, because this is our youth, this is the great thing they are doing, and this is the way we should go, encouraging our youth to do new things, and they can even market them as we progress into the neighborhoods, into the neighboring countries. Now, let me just say, right now we are busy doing something on free primary healthcare, which we think is the right of every Ghanaian, and to restore the dignity of the common Ghanaian. And they have already come out to do things that will help us translate whatever we are doing into our local languages. Is that not fantastic? So whatever I'm saying here, if they had their AI tool, by now it will be in Gai, it will be in Chui, it will be in Kasna, it will be in Dagwan, it will be in Hausa, it will be in Frafra, it will be in all the languages. You get what I mean? And then everybody would understand. So I think it's something fantastic.
Now, away from health, the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nate George, has engaged broadcasters in discussions aimed at developing a call-sharing framework for Ghana's digital terrestrial television system. The meeting focused on establishing a sustainable pricing model for channel carriage on the DTT platform. The minister stressed government's commitment to a transparent and consultative process, noting that while fees are necessary to sustain the infrastructure, decisions will be made in collaboration with industry stakeholders. Mr. George explained that Ghana's DTT platform has operated for years without meaningful cost recovery, making financial sustainability a key priority. He added that proposals presented during the meeting are intended to guide discussions and help build consensus among stakeholders. Time now for some international news. Now, Saleh Maman, a former Nigerian power minister, has been sentenced to 75 years in prison for laundering 33.8 billion naira. Last week, Maman was found guilty of 12 accounts, including using private firms to funnel money linked to government-funded power plants. The 68-year-old was sentenced in absentia on Wednesday. According to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Maman has been out of circulation and without trace since his conviction. On Monday, the High Court in the capital Abuja issued an arrest warrant for Maman, who was power minister from 2015 to 2021. Maman, who led the Ministry of Power under the then President Muhammadu Buhari, has not publicly commented on his conviction. However, just weeks before he was sentenced, the former minister announced plans to run for Taraba State Governor in the 2027 election on behalf of Nigeria's ruling party. Now, this brings us to the end of the WoezorTV Report. Many thanks for staying with us. I am Karen Naoyokoti.